Hi, Ellie Weber, Kabbalah Guru. Welcome back to my channel. If you found me here, I appreciate it. I got knocked off of my regular channel for 2 weeks. Thank God it's only 2 weeks. So I'll be back in a few weeks. But in the meantime, I'm going to do my broadcast from here. I'll be doing live sessions 11 a.m. We're going to do Tanya and Torah. We're going to keep up with it. And I'm going to have my live meeting tonight. Hopefully you'll find it. Please like and subscribe to this channel as well, so that I can send you the notifications, press the notification bell so I can let you know when we're going live. And that's it. We just have to hang in there. It's all good. I had some amazing things. I went to a protest yesterday. I'm part of a lawsuit now. I mean, a lot is happening. We're fighting this battle on many fronts. I want to talk a little bit about XRP, a little bit about politics. And that's really it. I think we're heading into the, we're in the storm. I mean, you saw the tornadoes in Kentucky. I mean, it will blow the roof off of this whole matrix. Let's rock. So yesterday I stepped out of my comfort zone. I love being by my computer and checking out the news and looking into the looking glass, really looking into the future. We are in the storm. This is the Great Awakening. This is the age of Mashiach, and everything is happening at once. I got, drafted into a lawsuit, a class action suit against the Department of Education because, I lost my job. They don't want to pay me, they don't want to give me unemployment, and they tell me you can't work anywhere else. So, I'm kind of limited. I mean, fortunately, I did take some precautions before all this started, but it's not, things are not moving the way I had envisioned them. But I want to talk about movement, and I want to talk about XRP for just a second. A lot of people invested in XRP because we know it's the banking wave of the future. We know it's the technology of the future, at least for now, until the quantum financial system is fully revealed, and it may be part of it. I don't know. The SWIFT system is dying. I mean, the old banking system, the federal banking system, this whole debt slavery, their whole construct of time, everything is dissolving before our eyes. Is it happening fast enough? Maybe not. But it's really about people waking up. That's what we're waiting on. And like if I look at the price chart of XRP, if you look at it in the daily, like in the 15 minutes, if you look at what's going on right now, it could look like it's going up or down. But if you look at it over 5 years, it is for sure going up. And that's really how you have to look at the Great Awakening. It may seem in any minute, like last night, I just was feeling down, I mean, it happens. I started breathing. I started going, Rabono, Shalom. I realized that the reptilians can't attack us when we're in our heart space. So if you feel yourself drifting into fear, take a deep breath, start saying a mantra. It can be, everything is good. Whatever it is, just repeat it over and over in your mind until you block out the reptilian broadcasting of fear. Get out of the fear space and get into the joy of existence. I mean, they want to make me crazy. My credit cards are I'm being denied now. I can't charge any more credit. I mean, it looks really scary, but this is just an illusion. This is just the matrix. This is just the Fed. I mean, I don't know how far this thing is going on. I mean, I think we're playing a giant game of chicken. I'm looking at the politics also. I'm thinking like Mitch McConnell's being taken down, but everyone is exposed now. You can see what these people are about. And a few months ago, if I said, I think it's the reptilians in pleasant company. Actually, on Shabbos, I did say something like that. And one of the people at the table was like, Ellie, really? But yeah, really. And now it's like, it's pretty accepted, man. You can talk about the reptilians and not get shamed out of the room. So we are waking up. One of my dear friends who I communicate with on a daily basis sent me a picture of the sky in New Jersey. They're crisscrossing. They're still doing these trails in the sky. and they're controlling the weather to some degree, and who knows what they're putting in in those clouds. I mean, I've heard all kinds of different stories. I've heard they're putting good drugs in the sky, they're putting bad drugs in the sky. But the point is, the important point is that we know, we can recognize, we see it. And you can't escape from a prison if you don't know you're in it. But so when we see things in the sky, when we hear things in the news, and we see all this action taking place. So I went to a protest yesterday. I just want to tell this brief story. I think this is like a hopeful story. I went to a protest outside yesterday, and there was really nobody there. There's maybe 30 people. I saw two brave young, Jewish girls had somehow gotten out of school for the day, and they were singing, "Let's go, Brandon." I mean, it was. I mean, even though there wasn't a quantity of people, there was a great quality of people. And I mean, there's a woman from China who gives out stickers, and she's so brave, and she's always there, and she's always telling us about how we don't want to fall into communism. And they're just all the people there. I mean, I know people, now when you go to a protest, when I go to a protest, it's kind of like I'm seeing a community of people that I know from other protests. And it's a beautiful thing. At the same time, I've been drafted into this class action suit against the Department of Education. They won't consider my religious exemption. So I have to, I'm proud to be a member of this thing. We have to stop this force somehow. And, it could stop in the courts, but it for sure stops when we wake up. So now I want to tell a story about what happened to me yesterday, that even though, in the scheme of things, the protest wasn't a big success in terms of numbers. I expected to see hundreds, if not thousands, of people out there. But okay, they have other days. They're protesting almost every day. Maybe that's not where we're going to win. But the story I want to tell is like this. On my way home, I went through, I took the subway. And on the subway, everyone is wearing a mask because they want to be good to other people. They feel this is the good thing to do. And I saw a man who was wearing obviously gangster clothes. Why do I know he was a serious gangster? Because I taught in Brooklyn high schools for 20 years, off and on, when I wasn't teaching special needs. And I know all the gang signs. I know what gangsters, what colors they wear and all this stuff. So I was looking at this guy, and he was playing a loud radio, and he was really trying to make himself stand out as a kind of iconoclastic, maybe but as an obnoxious guy that we should be upset about. He was really trying to draw attention to himself. And I just, I waited. I didn't say anything. I was going to flash a gang sign, but I decided it might not be such a great idea. Sometimes people don't take that so kindly when they see a Jewish guy with a yarmulke doing gang signs. It could be a bit disruptive, and it could, you just don't know how people are going to react. I mean, usually with the brothers on the street, when I shake their hands and I have the signs, they're like, okay, they're whatever. Anyway, it's something I happen to know about. I mean, in the Department of Education, they told us, if you do gang signs, you're out. But I feel like it was very important for me to understand the culture of the people I was teaching with. I mean, you spend a lot of time with your students, and you have to know where they're coming from in order to teach them. At any rate, I waited a little while. It was a long train ride all the way from Manhattan back to Brooklyn, and somehow I just broke into a conversation with this guy, and we started talking about numerology and gematria, and we had a really nice chat. And I also talked to a couple of other people that weren't wearing masks, and I said, what do you think about all this? And I think everyone is on the same page, and we're at that kind of precipice. We're kind of at the breakout point. And if you look at things, like I said with XRP, if you look at things on a very close time scale, if you look at what's happening in the next 15 minutes, it may go down, it may go up. But if you look over the 5-year period, we are waking up as a people. We can say reptilians and people know what we're talking about. Now, that there's a reptile inside of us, yes, that also has to be dealt with. I mean, that's what Hasidus teaches us, is that if you see the enemy, it means there's something you need to work on. So there is that aspect, but there's also the aspect of the entire global community waking up and finally seeing what was hidden to us for thousands of years. We had no idea. This enemy, it's a hidden enemy. It pays off its henchmen, and we only see the henchmen, and we're like, why are these people doing this to us? And now we know it has to do with adrenochrome, it has to do with serving strange masters, it has to do with human trafficking and doing bad things to children. But this is coming to an end, and it's clear. If you look on the small scale, yeah, I went to the protests and it looked like nothing was happening. But when I started talking to people on the subway, everyone's on the same page. They may be wearing a mask, but they know what's going down. It's very obvious. And that's the real genius, I believe, of the White Hat plan, is that everyone has woken up. Everyone knows what's going on. I'm not saying strange things to people like, really, is this really medicine? Am I saying that to people? And they're like, yeah, I know what you mean. They're not the same color as me. Who cares? They want us to think that it's about racism and all this kind of hatred. There's signs all over the city that said, stop the hate. I'm like, what hate? What hate, man? The hate is coming from underground. The hate is coming from the federal banking system. The hate is coming from an economy that is purposely putting us in debt to destroy us, to keep us in fear slavery and fear porn all the time about things that are attacking us that are unseen. Yeah, there are unseen attackers, but now we know who they are. We see them, maybe not directly, maybe we don't see pictures. I actually do, but we know what this is all about. If you look at the videos of Alex Collins, which I highly recommend, he'll tell you, we are not alone. There are good guys and bad guys in this whole galactic struggle, this whole battle for the ownership of Earth. There is history here that we don't know about. I was having a discussion with this friend on the train, and he said to me, look at the dollar bill. It's all about Washington. I said, no, man, it's not so clear it's about Washington. For sure it's about the federal banking system, for sure. But Washington, he was a revolutionary. He tried to free us. Was he involved in some other things that, don't make sense? Yeah, we're all a mixture. We're all good and bad. None of us can, I don't know. I do know people. I do. People in the special needs community, they are all good all the time. But the rest of us, man, as far as I know, really should just talk for myself. I know I have an evil inclination. I know I have a reptile side. I know that, at the drop of a hat, I could be doing things that are not kosher. So, which I did yesterday by accident. I ate something that I forgot it was a fast day yesterday, and I got myself a snack. I was so embarrassed. I didn't even realize it for hours that I was eating on a fast day. I just completely forgot about it. I guess I got involved with the protest, and I just wasn't thinking. But anyway, it's like, it's very hard to stay focused right now. We're fighting so many battles at once, but I think that's really the good news, that we can fight this battle on many levels. We are multi-dimensional creatures. What does it mean? What does that really mean? It means that even though we're in a body, we can be thinking about all different things at the same time, or within a certain time frame. Now, what the key to all this, the key to the kingdom, is to not let them block out your thoughts with fear. Once you get into fear space, you lose your power, and that's the real battle. It's not really about defeating the enemy. We don't really have the goods. I'm not going to go into the dumbs with a laser beam and try to fight the reptilians. It's just not for me. But I can fight the fear. And the fear comes to me also, and I just take a deep breath. I start saying a mantra. I start looking at, certain things. Look at Alex Collins. Look at his recent posts. Look at, there's a lot of good news you can focus on. And but we can't ignore the reality of this. I don't think that's the solution either. And I don't think we are. I can clearly see, like I said, with the political forces, it just seems on the news that more and more clarity is coming out. If you're off the mainstream media, which I'm sure you are if you're on this channel, you're fine, man. I mean, things are happening. It doesn't look so good. Like I said, if you look at the XRP path, man, you can look at it in the 5-minute scale and it may be dropping a few points, but over the 5-year plan, over the 100-year plan, over the 1,000-year plan, over the 2,000-year plan, Geula, redemption, the Great Awakening is happening. And I'm just going to read one thing. In today's Torah portion, Jacob blesses the Shvatim. He blesses his sons as he's passing over. And this is a very important thing. This is Vayechi. Vayechi means he lived. And we're talking about the passing of Jacob, but it's he lived. Why? Because the children. He is installing his knowledge and his wisdom to the children, and that's what this is all about. That's why the white hats, I've heard, are going to go into the educational system and just take over because it's so corrupted. Anyway, let me just read this. It says, staying focused on our goal. Look at the 5-year thing on XRP if you're down. Anyway, Jacob summoned his sons, saying, gather together, and I will tell you what will befall you in the end of days. Jacob, like all the patriarchs and matriarchs, had surrendered his own will to God's. His desires, therefore, always reflected God's desires. Thus, even though God did not allow Jacob to reveal the date of the redemption, Jacob's desire to do so reflected a similar desire on the part of God. In other words, he was going to tell his sons when the Great Awakening is going to happen, when Mashiach is going to come, when we're going to march forth into total freedom on the planet. But God did not allow him to reveal the date. Likewise, although God did not reveal to us when Mashiach will come, Messiah will come, on some level, he deeply wants to. And Jewish people do not believe that Messiah, anyway, I don't want to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. There's advertisements on my channel, and I do not support these advertisements. I have no choice over what goes on my channel. But, the Jewish people are waiting for Mashiach to come. Anyway. And since he deeply wants to, he wants to reveal the time. He did, in fact, reveal this to us on a subconscious level. This subconscious knowledge of the date of redemption enables us not to take exile seriously. That is, to already live to some extent in the reality of the redemption, free from physical and spiritual constraints of exile, free from servitude to foreign masters, and free from our own yet unrectified selves. By living this way, we hasten the advent of the true redemption itself, okay? So we have to live as if, and that's what it's all about, and we are living as if. And just know that they want, the enemy, the hidden enemy, the enemy inside of us wants you to think like you're meaningless, it's hopeless, it's all over, you're a failure and all this stuff. But no, it's just the opposite. You are a human being. You are a multidimensional creature. You have powers that are the envy of the galaxy. There are a lot of other life forms that are jealous of us, jealous of our ability to use emotions, our ability to get out of this reptilian fear space and to like each other. And just like on the subway, man, this guy was a gangster. What difference does it make? What do I care if he's a gangster? I'm a Hasidic Jew. I mean, it's like we all have our thing, but we're all together. And just know that you are the one. You are here for a reason, to fulfill your holy purpose. We're all pieces of this giant jigsaw puzzle, and we're coming together now. We can clearly see the evil. We can clearly see it. The White Hats have done a very good job of letting us know where the enemy is and who the enemy is and really what the enemy is. The enemy is a force that wants you to think you're just a number, and whether you're on the planet or not has no importance. But it's tremendously important. You know, I would say stay away from the medical treatments. Do not lose hope with the economy. I mean, we are going to see, I believe, a flipping of the economy. The old system is dead. It's not even dying. It's already dead. The fiat currency is inflating at a very high rate, a very fast rate, and it is useless. We're all in debt. The nations are in debt. This is part of their plan. But you know what? At some point, everyone's going to go, I'm in debt. So is the government. Who's running the system? Why is it imploding? And we're going to walk very proudly. We're going to take our little cryptos, our little silver stash, and we're going to barter with each other. I mean, I was zocher. I was lucky to get, through a little bit of struggle, a few chickens to put in my freezer yesterday. And, you know, it's like, we help each other, man. It didn't come through like the general way. It came from a friend, from my best friend. They got a whole case of chickens, and they said, we don't have room in our freezer. Could you please come and help us? And they gave me a bunch of cans of tuna fish. I mean, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna get through this. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but the main thing is just to love yourself and love each other, and know you are the only one in the history of creation who can be you and sing your song and help others in ways. Whoever's around you, man, we are going to get through this, and we are going to come out a free people. We are leaving slavery forever. It seems to me, in terms of the calendar, I know I'm going a little long today, and I don't know who's going to actually see this video, but it seems to me, in terms of the Jewish calendar, we're coming into Purim. We're coming into Pesach. We left Tishrei. In Tishrei, it's Lamata Lamaila. In other words, it's our efforts that save us. But we're coming now into Passover. So it's still up to us to wake up and to wake up those around us. But I believe some kind of miraculous event is on the horizon. It probably has to come that way as well. You can tell by the time. If we get through Passover and we're still in Gullus, we're still in exile, then I would say, it really depends on us. But right now we're moving into Passover, which means that God in some way is going to come down and hold our hand and take us through the sea of reeds and bring us into redemption, into receiving the Torah, into getting out of the fear space, into feeling the love that's our birthright. Okay, please like and subscribe to the channel. Come to our live meetings, 11 o'clock a.m. I'm going to have a meeting 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Wednesday. We do that every Sunday and Wednesday. If you can donate to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I haven't been paid in weeks and really months. It would be, if you can donate to my PayPal, that's probably the best way. That way the credit card companies can, see at least that I'm trying. But I'm not afraid, man. I mean, it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. It's going to be amazing. Once we're freed from the matrix, once we're freed from debt slavery, educational slavery, big tech slavery, medical slavery, educational slavery, and we realize that the masters are gone. We will defeat them just by being united and loving each other. And yes, a Hasidic Jew can hang out with a gangster and have a very nice conversation. We're all together on this. There's no hate. That's just an illusion. Fight the hate. Really? Really fight the hate? Is that really what we're about? Or is it fight the masters? Is this just a distraction to keep us from knowing how important we are and how if we're together, nothing can stop what's coming? Okay, may the force be with you, and God bless.